Hi, my name's Karsten Heuer. I'm a wildlife biologist who's worked in the Bow Valley for the last 25 years. I'm here to talk about 800 Canmore, a proposal to develop 20 acres of wetland habitat on the outskirts of town. It calls for 90% estate homes and 10% for a hospice. All of this is proposed for an area that falls inside one of our wildlife habitat patches and outside of our urban growth boundary. You know, it's hard to be against a proposal for a hospice for a community, but there are a lot of hanging questions out there. For instance, Alberta Health Services, despite years of talks, is not in a position to support it financially. So who's it going to be for? Is it just going to be private? And do you think it's a smart idea when we're in a climate crisis, we're in an affordable housing crisis, and according to the latest science, our system of wildlife habitat patches and corridors that we designated for our wildlife are severely under stress? How important are these 800 Canmore lands for wildlife? Well, we know from limited radio collar studies, pretty important. The area is frequented by wolves from Banff National Park, grizzly bears, and as we zoom in, a lot of elk. We've got all sorts of fresh elk tracks here along the creek. Each of these branches shows a division where it was browsed over the years. So just how branched everything is indicative of all the valuable winter forage. And then all in the grass here, we've got a lot of winter pellets. They're dried now, but from last winter when the elk were in here. You know, we've been shutting the elk out of town lately. We've been putting fences around our playgrounds, and for good reason. But now are we going to remove another area that we actually want them to go on the edge of town? One thing about this whole property is it's the lowest water table of any place in Canmore. So this is where Spring Creek runs through. It's where all of South Canmore drains into. And as a result, they're going to have to bring in a lot of fill here to be able to build above the flood elevation. Meanwhile, we're going to lose all these nice little channels that go under the trees. There's beaver sign all around. There's little burrows for small mammals and a lot of great bird nesting habitat. You know, this is the wrong partner and it's the wrong place for hospice in Canmore. We should not be developing for the first time in a wildlife habitat patch. We should not be moving our urban growth boundary to basically accommodate 6 mountain mansions. But what do you think? Visit bowvalleyengage.com and send your letter to council.